Welcome to this edition of EMS Now Up Close. I am Eric Miskell with EMS Now, and today I get to speak with Jeff Leal. Jeff is the Director of Business Development and Strategy for Axxon Mycronic, and this is my first time interviewing Jeff with Axxon. So thank you very much, Jeff, for taking the time to come talk to us. Axxon, I know, is known as kind of a leading supplier of dispensing and conformal coating solutions for the electronics industry. But take a moment, kind of introduce Axxon to the audience and also explain what your role fully is there.
Well, thank you for the time. Thanks for the interview. Axxon, as you mentioned before, it started in 2008 as a Chinese company. Then in 2016, late 2016, 2017, there was the acquisition of Mycronic acquired Axxon, and then became part of the Mycronic family. Mycronic is headquartered in Sweden, right, with a global presence. And the chart of the path was to be able to take the leading dispensing and coating supplier in China and bring their products out to the world, right? So if you look at it, it's a blend of the Swedish way of thinking and engineering and the Chinese speed and attitude towards getting things done quickly. Yeah. So it was a very good marriage. It was the way to be able to get the best of both worlds with regards to response time, to quality of work, and to have a steady plan moving forward, right, to grow the business globally. Okay. Things went fairly well. And if you see the name is called Axxon Mycronic, the reason is because we've grown to the point where Axxon is its own vertical within Mycronic. So we globally take care of dispensing and coating all around the world. Mm-hmm. And, that's in a nutshell, the journey, so to speak.
And your role is?
I am the Director of Business Development and Strategy. So my charter is to look at where we are in the market today, Axxon Mycronic, where the business is going to be tomorrow, where technology is taking us tomorrow, what are the requirements of our customers tomorrow, so we can plan accordingly with R&D and make sure that we capture the business that's coming in.
Okay. Now, when you talk about dispensing, I'm assuming Axxon, there's a variety of different, things that get dispensed in electronics manufacturing. What's the scope of that Axxon's able to handle?
So in very broad terms, if it's any kind of liquid material that needs to be applied into any kind of electronics, we have a way to do it, right? So this can be as far up in the front end as doing dispensing on wafers, right, for wafer level packaging, or we can go all the way down to the other side of the spectrum where you need a large two-part sealant for an enclosure or potting for automobiles. So it covers the spectrum from very fine dots, precise depositions, to area coating or large volume dispensing.
Okay. And I'm assuming, and that's through all the valves. So I'm assuming then within Axxon, and that's probably the capability and what you're talking about within the Chinese being able to do, I don't want to call it a team, but I'm assuming there's a team that manages valves and develops the valves, and that's got to be pretty extensive capability within the company.
Well, to give you the scope, right? Like I mentioned, electronics is very broad, as we all know. And we mentioned front-end applications are very different than back-end applications. So Axxon Mycronic, as its own dispensing entity, we have between 900 and 1,000 employees focused only on dispensing. So that can give you an idea of the amount of specialization we can have in any one area. Right? We have teams of dozens focused on certain areas.
Okay, excellent. Now, I do know, and what I wanted to talk to you about here today, other than getting the general overview, is you recently celebrated the opening of a subsidiary in Guadalajara, Mexico. So tell me about that, and what are the capabilities that are included within that subsidiary?
Yeah, we're very happy about this in Mexico because it's the first large footprint that we're establishing outside of China. China historically has been our manufacturing hub, our R&D hub, spare parts hub, worked through distributors, right? We also did distribution through Sweden. But Mexico is the first time that we're creating our own vertical entity outside of China, where we'll have not only sales and service, we'll have application support, process development support, we'll have spare parts for the Americas, and we also will have light manufacturing. So that also requires logistics. So it requires its own operations. That's why it's more a subsidiary than just an apps lab, so to speak, right? Or just a warehouse.
Right.
And we're soon to open one in Europe as well.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was going to ask, so, why Mexico, right? Why is the first one Mexico? Obviously, Mexico is booming, right, with a lot of reshoring and what have you. But what was it that you were seeing in the market that made you decide to go there first?
Well, from a dispensing perspective, Mexico is the single largest market outside of China. So if you look at them just by countries, regions, and concentration of opportunities, Mexico is number 2 outside of China right now, just because of all the reasons you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So we want to be where the customer is. We want to have as much direct support as possible. Therefore, we're opening, like we opened Mexico, and we have our eyes set on Europe as well for that reason.
Okay. And I'm assuming sector-wise, I mean, people think Mexico, you think bigger things, you think automotive, you think aeronautics, you think all those. So I'm assuming those are the sectors that are being served then by you all as well.
That is correct. We serve all the large EMSs that operate in Mexico. A lot of the larger back-end applications are for automotive, right? And telecommunications, ruggedizing electronics. So yes, the business, as you mentioned, has been growing in Mexico. It's still growing for us. So it was the right time to do the investment that we did.
Okay, excellent. Now, I do know as well that we have the SMTA Expo in Guadalajara coming up. You will be there. Your team will be there. That is September 11th and 12th. So right around the corner here. What is it? Tell me about it. If people want to see you, tell us about your participation at the show.
So we were thinking about joining the show for a while, but we really couldn't act upon it until we actually opened the subsidiary, which meant we were a little late to the game. We couldn't get the large, nice, shiny booth that we wanted to have, right? Unfortunately. Luckily enough, we were able to get a booth. We'll be in booth 215 at the show. We'll be able to demonstrate our technologies. We'll have screens. We'll have a nice touch screen there so the customers can come up and look at whatever interests them from all the range of applications that we have. We can talk to them. And then if there really is interest, luckily we're close to the show. We're only 15 minutes away, right? So if somebody wants to drive over and see everything there is, we actually have demo equipment of all the types of equipment we have to offer in that subsidiary. So they can go and see it for themselves there.
Okay. And that would apply before or after the show, obviously, as well.
Oh, anytime. We're opening our doors. We're welcoming our customers. So anytime any customer can schedule a visit.
Okay. And what's the best way if people are seeing this and are interested in following up? How do you suggest they do so?
Well, I think the easiest part, you can start with myself, right? My email is jeff.leal@mycronic.com. You can just email me and we can set something up with our local team in Mexico. And yeah, we do have customers that are coming from all over the country right now for this SMTA show within Mexico. And all of them eventually said that they want to go see our facility. So, after they hit the show, they'll probably stop by.
They'll probably stop by. So it'll be the place to be. No, that's excellent. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there this year at the show, but yeah, I'll look forward to doing that next year when I come down. And won't be brand new anymore, but it's like a restaurant, right? You don't want to go when it first opens. You want to let them give them a chance, right, to perfect the menu. So I'll delay mine. But any other particular messages for the show that you want to mention, or anything that you haven't been able to speak to that you feel is important to share with the audience?
No, I just want to welcome everybody who will be at the show to visit us at booth 215. They will be able to talk to them and show them, at least through video, what we have to offer. And then if they really would like to invite us, like I said, we're 15 minutes away, and we'd be happy to show them firsthand what we can do, schedule a demo, talk with our people. We have, I forgot to mention, we have a staff of 20 people roughly in Mexico.
Okay.
So that's between sales, service, logistics, application support. So we are expanding our presence. This is all direct presence, right? This is Axxon Mycronic people, not through distributors. We do have some reps to help us sell, but we're the ones doing the quotes, the business, and having the direct interface with the customer as well.
And even though that the subsidiaries in Guadalajara itself, I'm assuming you're covering from there, you span the whole country within Mexico to support, because there's manufacturing, on the border and, on the Baja side and in Monterrey, all of these areas.
Actually, that brings up something that I forgot to mention. We actually service all the Americas through here. So
Okay.
we also have a lab in the US for our US based customers in San Jose, California. This one is an applications lab and a sales lab. So we have sales and applications and service in the US and San Jose. All the spare parts is managed through Mexico. And anything that we sell through Brazil or throughout Latin America or the Caribbean, US and Canada included, goes through Mexico. So it's our hub for the Americas.
Okay. So now I know why you're referring to it as a subsidiary. It's a very important component to the footprint there.
Yes, I think that's one thing that we wanted to make that distinction. This is a subsidiary. It's more than just sales and service, right? It's to help enhance our operations on this side of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And are based in Guadalajara, Mexico.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Well, Jeff, I appreciate your time. I wish you success at the show. Encourage everybody who's watching, if you're going down, please stop by and see them and take him up on the offer to go see the new subsidiary there. It sounds impressive. So, Jeff, thank you for your time. Hopefully we can catch up again later in the year or soon and get an update on the activities.
Well, I really appreciate the time, Eric. Thank you all. And let you enjoy the show.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.